Hello and welcome to episode 528 of the Awesome Comics Podcast, the place where the small press makes one hell of a big noise. My name is Vince Hunt, and joining me in this escapade into space this week is the artist and creator of the epic webcomic series Vanguard, Dan Butcher.
Hello.
And Tony Esmond. You're looking tense.
Hello.
Would you like a massage?
Is it deep tissue?
Or is
Deep
it,
tissue.
It's always deep tissue.
Yes,
Go
please.
in there deep.
Deep tissue 9.
Bit lower.
Actually, that's a bit weird. What?
Move your hand up and down. What?
Okay. Is it
Do
is
extras,
it,
love.
is it massage or massage?
Massage.
I've never had a massage.
Really?
No?
Never had
Oh,
one.
okay.
Are you just
Yeah.
like? Are you like just a
Constantly
like a
tense.
tied like one
Yeah.
of those old rope knots? Is that what you are?
Yeah.
It is downstairs. The but I don't know. I just never had one. I've always, I've been married a long time. I just never had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should get one too. I recommend it.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'd go along and I'd be worried that they were that kind of massage people. I'd be going,
Yeah.
I
I mean, the thing is, if they work the right muscles, you can really get a good release. Welcome to the show, everyone. We're here to talk
Get
about
out on my
comics.
Well, I went to one
like
in
old rope.
Soho, and there's a little card on the door, and I went up the stairway. That was all legit. That was fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was a model and everything.
Yeah. Didn't look quite like the picture, but you can't have everything.
Yeah.
That's what I always wonder.
Yeah.
You know when the famous joke of like nicking those cards out of phone boxes and putting in your mate's pocket so he gets in trouble when he gets home? They can't look like that. That's got they're like
No,
cut
of
out
course
magazines
they
and
don't.
stuff,
Also,
aren't they?
Yeah.
those days are long behind us now, aren't they?
I remember there was
Yeah.
one that was
Digital's
clearly
changed
a picture.
everything. What a world we live in.
Yeah.
That was OG catfishing. Back in
Yeah.
the day.
I remember there was one that was just a picture of Madonna. And I'm like, and she had O and A levels. I didn't know she had those.
Really?
Didn't even. She may have had a degree as well. I don't know, but yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that's good. Madonna's got a bit of time off work. She's working in
Yeah.
solo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair play. Moonlight.
But, welcome
in the
to the
sort
show,
of true blue
listeners.
period.
We're going to. Do you have a certain period of Madonna's catalogue that you prefer, Tony?
No, it's like the Reservoir Dogs soliloquy, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's digging. She's like Charles Bronson. She's digging tunnels. What was that line?
That's-
Welcome to the show. We're here to
Yeah,
talk
hello.
about comics, and there's plenty of comics to talk about, as well as some science and some fiction. As this week we just finished up a chat with Hugh Newell, the artist and creator of Lizzie Parsec, a book that I've talked about many times on this show.
I read that today as well.
Yeah,
for the
so
interview.
it was fun to talk about that and talk about science fiction comics. And look, it's another reason to follow this creator and discover a new creator. And it's a fun chat to talk about all kinds of things: main characters, writing, creating, developing characters, and just getting sudden gore, and just getting your work just out there because you just made a comic and you just want to try and get it in as many faces as possible. And that's what this show's all about. We get in lots of people's faces, don't we?
yeah, try to. Go through me there.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And we usually in people's
Yes,
ears.
we do.
We're in a lot of people's ears. all the
Sometimes it
time.
goes in the ears.
Yeah.
We've got some comic chat, haven't we? Before, do you want to do that after the interview or before the interview?
Well, I tell you what. There's so much good content to be had here. There's a little bit of comic chat because Tony's been out and about as well. So we'll catch up with that in a minute. But let's get stuck into some creator chat. Here is our chat with Hugh Newell, and just enjoy it because it's full of spaceships and shit, isn't it? Right, this week we're joined by illustrator, comic artist, and creator of the awesomely fun and action-packed comic series Lizzie Parsec, which I've mentioned quite a few times on the show. Welcome to the show, Hugh Newell.
It's lovely to be here. Thanks so much for having me, you guys.
Hello, Hugh.
That's our absolute pleasure.
Just a minute ago, off air, he said it was an honour, and already he's not mentioning
Backing
that.
out,
So
backing
he's
out.
backing out. He suddenly
It's a
realised
pleasure. Still a pleasure.
it's a pleasure.
Mind you, it's nice to have someone who mentions the band Slade in their comic.
Oh,
So-
you picked up on that, yeah.
That's
I'm a little bit music obsessed,
nice.
Yeah.
especially with the British glam scene. It's good stuff.
Nice. Nice. I think there's so many links between music and comics all the way through history.
I
yeah.
totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard not to be. But of course, there are some of you out there who don't necessarily know what Lizzie Parsec is, and probably discovering Hugh at the first time. So we know you're an illustrator, Hugh, and you're currently in Portland, moved from San Francisco. And we've already learned a lot off air about San Francisco, which is very fascinating.
Microclimate.
Yeah, microclimates and all that. That makes us sound so educated when we say that.
Yeah.
But as for your journey into comics, you know, what got you into comics and to where we are now?
Well, I mean, you know, as a kid, the one that really blew my mind. I was like 11 or 12. I picked up The Invisibles, and it totally blew my mind as a kid, and just the subversiveness of it and everything. And I was drawing all through high school and trying to make comics, but it's incredibly difficult. And got into some other stuff in the meantime, got into a little bit of filmmaking and did some tattoos for a couple of years. But I just kept wanting to come back to telling stories, and filmmaking was, even though it was accessible in the early aughts, it was still very expensive and more of a way to spend money than to make money. So I just kept trying, and I think Lizzie Parsec was like my 6th attempt at like making a comic, just because you got to be able to smash yourself against the wall over and over and over again, and learn to just not be afraid to fail. And I think eventually something just stuck with that.
The whole
one.
10,000 hours thing, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, it's that, and then learning little parts of it that kind of come together to make to make the final product, I guess.
So,
but
it's interesting you say that. Like, I mean, it seems so well constructed, and so it's fascinating to know that there was 5 other things before that. Were they all like sci-fi as well, or were you trying different genres?
Yeah. They were very much like coded the same, but I think when I was younger, the problem was I just wasn't doing it right. I was doing it on bond paper, and it was a mess, and I couldn't figure out how to get it to reproduce. And then later on, once I figured all that out, I was the one right before Lizzie was this one that I tried to do called The True Wheel, and it was like I was driving cabs in Portland, and I wanted to do one that was cool, and I was so obsessed with it being cool and approachable and like geared towards the people that I knew, that I wasn't using the medium of comics enough. And I realized about 6 or 8 months into working on it that I was still writing for film, in that I was like writing scenes that would be easy to shoot if I had to shoot them. And I was like, there's so much wasted potential there. So I just scrapped it, and I just started doing just draw stuff that you want to draw and not have to worry about how much it would cost to film or make. And then that was when it started like the wheels, the tires started connecting to the road, and I was like, okay, I'm writing for comics now. There's some scenes that work really well with film, and they just don't work on the comics page, and vice versa.
Yep.
Yeah, because pacing and definitely I mean, between panels, I mean, it's very, even though we talk about some comic experiences being quite cinematic, I know I do all the time because my vocabulary isn't big enough to say other words. But there is you can get cinematic comics, but you don't have that effect of like quick cutting. But
movement's different, isn't it?
Yeah,
yes. So much.
Yeah. But at the same time, what you can do with a panel is as effective or more effective if handled right, isn't it? When it comes to comics.
Yeah, it's some things that would be tremendously easy to shoot would be really hard to draw, and some things that like you would have to do this crazy sequence of shooting, you could just pull out in one big splash page and explain everything. And it's not just that too; it's also the set design and stuff. Like, you know, you can just as long as you don't mind drawing something more than once, like you just throw it on the page. You know.
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, copy paste.
Yeah.
Do you work? Are you all digital with your artwork?
No, I the first ones, all the ones that you guys have seen were pencil, and then they were inked by hand, and then they were scanned and colored digitally. And it's only in the last one that I actually started, because I picked up one of those tablets that has the screen on it, and I started doing it on there, and it's really slick. But I think I've gradually shifted over to fully digital.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting.
But for those that haven't heard Vince describe it previously, because Vince has recommended it previously, what is Lizzie Parsec, dude? Because it's a mixture of a lot of things, isn't it? I was and I mean this in the best way, surprised by the gore, for example. You know, there's quite a lot in it. Did you want to just let the listener know what Lizzie Parsec is?
What to expect?
Yeah.
Well, it's about this girl who lives in space. She shares a spaceship with 5 other people. They all kind of run the spaceship, but it's very clear that they're like, it's an analogy of like renting a house with a bunch of roommates, and that was what I was really going for, was the struggle of paying rent. And so what happens is she comes up a little short on money, and I really appreciate you guys not giving away the spoiler, but I think we're late enough in the story that I can give it away. Her landlord is this trillionaire mob boss, Jagoff, and she basically shoots him in the back of the head and has to escape into outlaw space in order to get away from the consequences of that, and also dealing with the like, oh, should I have not done that maybe? And then her shipmates obviously not wanting to be implicated with that, sort of having to deal with their own thing, and everybody's playing it really careful. But then this thing that shows up in the very beginning gets loose and starts. It's this gelatinous monster. It escapes into space. It becomes this whole outbreak, and it basically like it's it's not hard to tell what I'm.
Chaos ensues, and you got someone on the run, and bad shit seems to follow them.
And then also exactly, and the whole of intergalactic society seems to be basically collapsing because of this thing.
But was there any particular influence for her, for Lizzie? Because I mean, the obvious go-to is Tank Girl, isn't it? But
absolutely,
she's not that.
I mean, I love Tank Girl. Speaking of a comic that constantly brings up music, I mean that was one of the ones I liked. But it's partially girls I've been friends with. It's kind of based a little bit on them, but it's mostly based on kind of on myself and just my 20s and being kind of a hot mess in my 20s and making mistakes and being, I don't know, just kind of an agent of chaos. Looking back on that and being like, okay, was this cute or was this was I genuinely being obnoxious?
But we all?
Yeah. But being able to see that and then put that in a comic is sort of, it's a refreshing way to use your experiences, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think once I started doing that, I realized that it was the thing I was trying to do previously with the other comic was coming through way better by just telling my own story. I mean, even some of the lines in there, I literally had roommates be like, hey, our landlord doesn't like when we don't pay the rent, so you owe me. And just me just taking that, just putting it straight on the page,
There is an anti-establishment feel to her, isn't there? Definitely. I mean, I was reading in issue 3 the bit about there not being allowed to be dentists in the building and stuff like that. There's a little bit of the Mega City one about it somewhere as well. That sort of crazy, everyone crammed in, law out of control thing going on.
Yeah, I wanted to show like, all this technology, but like quality of life has not improved one iota.
Yeah.
And there's all this crazy stuff, but people are still dealing with the same crap. I think that was a response to a lot of the sci-fi, and I really do love sci-fi that does this, is when you just take it, you just do something totally new, totally out there. You reinvent the wheel and you come with this thing that nobody's ever tried before. I was like, well, I could do that, or I could do the opposite and just have nothing be different, and just just like the world has moved on in a very like believable way, and everybody's kind of struggling along.
There is that.
I think that
like
reflecting
the joy of the familiar, though, isn't it? That that.
I think so. I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, reflecting sci-fi on the modern it allows you to avoid the cliches of science fiction, which we see so many times, don't we? People thinking they're doing something new and out of the box, and it's just another cliche of a cyberpunk cliche or a Star Wars cliche or Star Trek cliche or something like that. I think when you allow it to feel real, it allows you to avoid that trap, I guess.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, and I think sometimes when people come up with a concept that's so new and groundbreaking that they can actually like break their story with it, and not realize until they get to the third act that like the third act is terrible and impossible.
Yeah. And not about people. It needs to be about people.
Yeah. Especially we see this a lot with comics as well. These heralded, newfangled. We haven't seen this before. Let's talk about it when it gets to issue 6. Because sometimes they don't have the pacing, do they? Do you know what I mean? They're so
your pacing's great on that, man. The first issue was off and running straight away. Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
And as well, I mean, we talk about the familiar, but there are the designs, the tropes. There's that sort of like, you can see all the influences are there on the page. We could probably throw a ball in, and we could pick loads of sci-fi that you clearly love, and see it. But it's got that sort of, but never in a copy and. I mean, you said copy and paste. It's never like that. It's wearing its influences on its sleeve, and just being fun and over the top. And like Tony said, it's got some nice gore in there. There's someone's head gets sliced into bits within the first few pages of.
When you get a shot in the head, your head does explode, which is nice to see. Yeah.
I really like that suit ship.
That's actually something that's not too terribly difficult to draw, but like incredibly hard to film. So let's just go crazy. Let's just blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Do the old Tom Savini in
What, Maniac?
Oh yeah, Dawn of the Dead.
Well, any Tom Savini in it, really. Yeah. But like Dan, you were saying about the
that suit ship. That kind of like you got the whole the roommate thing going off because she takes the suit ship out, loses it for one reason or another, comes back, and they're all like, "Well, where's the suit ship?" And they can, we like the suit ship, and it's really kind of like you can instantly get in with it, and there's sort of the roommate flatmate kind of mentality of all. Yeah. That someone's borrowed something and not brought it back, and everyone's a bit knocked about it.
But also bolted on a really fantastic science fiction creation of a ship that's a suit. Like that was something I was like, that's just fucking cool. That's
really cool.
I haven't seen that before. Where do ideas like that come from?
That was I was drawing a lot of girls with VR helmets, which I've been drawing since before there was VR. I just really love William Gibson and all of that VR stuff. And I was sitting one day drawing, and I was like frustrated. I was like, what if instead of not being able to draw the girl's eyes, I only draw the girl's eyes, and then just drew tech all around it? And I was like, okay, this is cool, but what is it? And I was like, it's got little arms and legs, and then like you said, it was off and running. And that was right around the time that I started the comic. So it was all just like weird coincidences that like this thing just kind of popped out, and I was like, okay, well, scene 1, act 1. Cut to the ship suit, and then it was like the writing process from that point on was just almost like that. It was just like making lists of good ideas, making lists of funny names, weird plot devices, and then just sort of arranging them, and then sort of being like, okay, how does this fit a larger narrative, and then trying to bend towards that, but not being too afraid to just go off on something if I wanted to.
Yeah, because it's a chaotic character, isn't it? That's just gonna like a tumbleweed and collecting everything as it goes.
Exactly. Yeah, and he was really influenced also by like the old Lone Wolf and Cub, where it's just this little book, and it's just the guy's just constantly getting into trouble.
It's interesting from episode 1, issue 1 to 4, like your visual style sort of changes and grows. So what was the time period between doing 1 and 4?
1 came out in 2018, like late 2018, and let's see. I don't think I started on this. I know I started penciling the second one, and it got kind of stalled because I was having trouble finding a way to publish it. And then COVID hit and we moved to San Francisco and there was literally nothing to do. And I was like, well, I just dragged it out again, started
doing it again,
getting color in that, and put out episode 2. And then by then I was like, okay, I have a story here and I have an idea of where it's going. I maybe got the idea for like the next 10 issues or something there. So I just kept working on it, and as it, like I said, I switched over to digital, so that made it get a little tighter, and it just kind of got a little tighter and a little tighter and a little tighter every time. But I went back and looked at the first one, and I'm honestly kind of like, I don't know if everybody feels this way, but I'm glad that it's rough, because I feel like I like the lungfish crawling out of the ocean and just little flippers on the mud and gasping for air, because I'm finally making a comic and I'm not sure what to do. But
because I noticed that you hand letter it as well, and the lettering, whilst it's very readable in issue 1, it's so improved by the time you get to 4. If you don't mind me saying, it's yeah. How did that come back? Have you switched to doing digital lettering, or what's happened there?
I found a website that would do a free font if you like printed out a little grid.
Right.
And and it was a game changer for me.
Awesome. I did it. Mine came out looking like a child's scroll. It looked terrible.
Or like, I
actually used it as like when children write something. I've used that in my comic.
And that's your handwriting?
Yeah. Because when you draw it on the grid, you think, oh, it looks all fine. But when you kind of like get the thing back, sometimes there's quite a lot of characters that are just off. If you don't want to buy an account or whatever with them, you can't really tweak it at all. So it's hit or miss. Yeah.
What website is that?
Oh, it was years ago. I don't remember.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I did one years ago.
Wow. Font nerds.
You can do it though. Like, you can find it's not too expensive.
Yeah.
I think we had a creator on years ago who did it. It was a female creator who had done it for their comic, and we were like, wow, I've done that. It was like, at the time we was a kind of bit.
Yeah.
I'm amazed when people can do the lettering just by hand. But like, I broke my hand when I was like 12, and so when I start doing that little lettering, I start to get this like throbbing pain. So I'm just like,
that's interesting, because like you've got such clean line work, and there is a fair amount of detail and backgrounds, and like, you know, your spaceships are fucking unreal. I love the spaceship design and Lizzie Parsec, you know, because it looks like a ship. Not in a sort of like sleek, fancy sort of way. You know, these look like genuine fucking vehicles.
I've been obsessed with spaceships for a while, and when I see spaceships on TV and movies that I like, I'm like, there it is. That totally feels, you know, that passes the smell test. And then sometimes you see a spaceship that just doesn't, and you're like, who would design, who would manufacture, who would buy this spaceship, and also, what the heck do you use it for, you know? And so I also, over COVID, I got really into flight simulators, and so I started flying these like commercial airliners around, and then I just started picking up on the logic of like how the consoles work.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this is brilliant. This is gonna like help me out big time. So a lot of times it's just taken from even the colors taken from like a 747 or something like that.
I was just looking at a panel, and there was one spaceship. It's sort of, I don't think it's anything to do with anything, but it reminds me of that. Is it Foss? Is that the guy who used to do the paperback covers? Do you know the guy I mean? Is that his name?
I think I know.
What, the big sort of colourful spaceships?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it really reminded me of one of his there. And he sort of famously will look at, I don't know, a bottle of detergent, and that will become the shape. He's just desperate for a shape, and after that, he noodles it, you know?
Yeah. That and like boats. Boats are a really good way, because like I was watching like YouTube tours of like entire boats. I was like, I want to see every room in this boat. I want to know what you know.
And that's a great way to do it though, because like you got to think. Oh, we always think, the spaceships look nice. I mean, I know I wouldn't go to that length and detail, but to know that it's a working ship. And to know that, you know, you don't think about the cabins or, you know, where the storage is, or...
Plus, you got to avoid the cliche again with sci-fi, haven't you? They can't look like starfighters. They can't look like Imperial, whatever your blah blah blahs. You know, you've got to avoid the cliche. I think we start with spaceships when you draw them.
Yeah.
You know, something like Firefly, you could see that there was just this definite attempt not to look like Star Wars with it, and it worked better for that, I think.
Yeah.
I like the Sulaco in fucking Aliens. It's just a big fucking rifle flying through space. It's great.
Yeah.
Are so good, and I remember seeing that as a kid and just being like, "Where are they on that ship? I want to know." Like,
And like the Nostromo in like Alien, I remember like when that comes on, and it takes me a while to get my brain around it because of like the shapes going on there. I'm thinking, well, what is that? Because we only see like certain bits of the. It feels like a working ship because of the way that story plays out and the way that they are. But if you look at the model that they use, there's the domes, isn't there? There's just like the huge turrets and stuff. It almost looks like a nuclear power station.
It's like a huge refinery, isn't it?
Yeah,
that they're kind of on.
Well, the refinery is a module.
Yeah, that's right.
Isn't the Nostromo just the ship? Now I'm confused.
Oh, that's the
We're gonna get fucking roasted in the comments because we don't know.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with Babylon 5 at the moment, and I love the way they've designed for each. There's like 5 main races, and each race has loads of different ships. But there's such a specific, like the Vorlon ships and the Earth ones are these big fucking tankers that look like an extension of a big sea tanker, and some of them are sort of slicker lines, and the Vorlons look like almost like squid in space, and I love all that sort of thing. Yeah, it's great.
Conventions that are unique to like the culture. That's gonna happen down the line. There's the main manufacturer in my story is this company called Vought Swenson, which I use that in another thing way. So it's like it's not trying to rip off the boys or anything like that. Right. But there's an episode later on where she gets into one of the ships, and it's a competitor ship, and it's this German company called Kegler, and she doesn't know German, so she like tries to like fix the ship, but that whole episode is just full of German language jokes.
That's quite niche.
Well, so I don't want to give too much away, so I'll just leave it.
Okay. Yeah. So you said you're aiming at a 10-issue run, is that right, for Lizzie Parsec? Or so you're going to carry on doing it till whenever?
I think I'm going to try. Well, actually, that's interesting that you say that, because the other day I sat down, I was like having trouble putting it all together in my brain, so I made this little map on like notebook paper, and I just taped them top to bottom of just like plot points connecting to each other.
Yeah.
And I got to where I wanted it to be, and it's looking like it might be 40 or 50 episodes. I mean, it's a big story. That's a
big story.
One of my big inspirations, one of the comics that really blew my mind was Berserk, when I borrowed that from my friend, and just reading that. I don't know, you guys read Berserk?
Oh.
Fucking love it.
Yeah, and funny enough, I read it because I borrowed it from Dan. It was
It's one to borrow for sure. Like, because when I started reading it and I realized what he was doing, I was like, this story can go on like indefinitely. Just the way he's building it, the way he's setting it up, the way he's letting parts kind of fall off and have new parts come in. I was so impressed with his ability to just make a story that just was so big. You know, it was the whole world's at stake, the whole plane of existence is at stake. I'm like, I would love to do that, but also like I don't want to like fall into cliches. So there's got to be some, got to put a little bit of a leash on it too.
Yeah, you kind of got to know your limitations in regards to like that storytelling because
is it something you actively try and pitch to publishers and stuff, or are you quite happy doing it yourself, or would you rather it was publisher run sort of thing?
I'd love to find a publisher. I think when we first started, there was like this little startup company in Portland called Buckman Publishing, and they published the first issue for me just to get it out the door, and then they were like, cool, you're on your own. And I was like, cool. All right. So then I started publishing it myself through like third-party companies that just do the printing. But, I'm not really that experienced when it comes to that part of it, the promotion, the publishing. And like, right now I'm selling the paperbacks on my website, HughNewell.com, but I can't sell those outside the United States, so that's really frustrating. And I guess my answer to that is that I would love to talk to some publishers about it if there was anybody who felt like it was a good fit.
Yeah,
what's the score with tabling as well? Because I know Portland's got a lot of small press kind of publishing stuff, hasn't it, going on? But it's more comics with an X, I'm going to say, kind of outlaw comics-y, is it?
And that's another thing too. Is when I was in San Francisco, I talked to Silver Sprocket, and they love the comic, but they were like, "This isn't really our brand." I was like, "I totally get it. I totally get what you're
I get that. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like as for tabling, I mean, I didn't really start working on this like for real hardcore until after the pandemic started. So it's been I haven't really had a chance to table at any conventions or anything yet, but it's definitely something I'd be interested in, especially if there was somebody else, wanted to like split a table or whatever.
I mean, dude, you got 4 issues, and the 5th one is coming soon. I mean, you've already done more than quite a lot of comic creators,
and a lot of OAs, a lot of original artists. If you wanted to put it on the table as well, in a portfolio.
Yeah, I mean, you've got. I mean, you could do print, you could do everything. I mean, we don't need to tell you how to sell fish. I mean, you know the value of Lizzie Parsec, but it's for me. I just think that this one deserves a home. If it was like publishers, if you're listening, talk to Hugh, because it's brilliant, fun comic. But one of the joys that I've had in reading it is a fun comic. Because it's clearly someone making a comic because they just want to make a comic, and that comes through. It's not like, even though you've got plans for the character.
We're cynical fuckers over here, Hugh.
Yeah, yeah. But there's clearly plans, but there was no sense of like, here's my pitch for something. I read it and I just thought, this is just great fun. They've done the character, and let's just go on that ride with them, because this is someone who clearly just wants to make a comic. And I think because of that, we also see from issue 1 to issue 4, the growth of making a comic. It's a proper independent small press comic creator story.
Yeah, because I mean a lot of movies do the same thing, especially when the movie maker starts out with no budget, and then by the 3rd movie he's got all the budget in the world, and it's you love it all. Nobody goes, oh, they need to go back and fix this.
Yeah.
The obvious one.
So,
you're right.
Like, come on, let's have the influence bingo. Like, there's so much sci-fi, okay? Now, we've got hard sci-fi, soft sci-fi. What other types of sci-fi are there? There's probably...
Sexy sci-fi.
Sexy sci-fi.
Barbarella.
Spongy sci-fi.
I can see a bit of Masamune Shirow stuff in your work.
Dude, I was about to say Masamune Shirow. In fact, when I was reading Vanguard, I actually picked up, I don't know if you did this on purpose, but when you do like the fully rendered backgrounds and stuff, that when I saw that, it just totally brought me back to that early aughts Masamune Shirow when he was doing the really heavy digital stuff.
Oh man, he's fucking such a massive influence on me. I love his stuff.
I love that guy.
He's great.
Yeah,
I really do like him.
The Ghost in the Shell and the Apple Seeds and all of that. Yeah, definitely huge influence there. Like, obviously, like you're saying sexy sci-fi, the first thing that popped into my head was like Fifth Element or Aeon Flux.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
The stories are like, I just love a good story. So, I mean, William Gibson, Neuromancer, like just the way that he crafts the narrative, and how there's like 3 or 4 groups of people just kind of running around like crazy people, and it all just comes together, and they're all just in the same room. I don't know. That might be like a cheap trick, but it worked on me. I was totally fell for it.
One of my favorite short stories is in a book of his called Burning Chrome. Have you read that collection? There's one where this guy kind of is on the run, as a bit of a transient, and he comes across this kind of cab station, I think it is, where they're playing this World War II dogfighting VR game. And there's this old boy who used to be like a fighter pilot, and he's fucking great at it. And this guy basically gets all these implants to beat him. And everyone's really fucking crestfallen, and like he doesn't understand that
Yeah,
He's just cheated to win. It's such a good story.
yeah. I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, it's like he missed the point.
Yes. I said another one is Snow Crash. I don't know if you guys have ever read that. That's
Oh,
fucking
yeah, the hero
that's
protagonist.
amazing. Yeah.
The working for a pizza shop that's owned by the mafia that'll make you disappear if you don't deliver the pizzas in 30 minutes. Very, yeah.
It does get a bit of flack because the sort of the secondary character is like a 16-year-old girl, and
Oh yeah,
he gets a bit of flack for that. But
yeah. I mean,
what are you gonna do? Good thing
Yeah.
I brought that up on the show, isn't it?
I mean, that's an interesting question, Hugh. Is you've gone for a female protagonist? Is that because it gives that we've talked to people who've done that before, and does it give you the opportunity to make her more vulnerable than if it was just a sort of hard knuckles dude?
I think that, yeah, I think it kind of ramps up everything, and I mean, girls are hot, so like
that's the most honest answer we've had so far.
mitigating the having to put it on the page and trying to make it as easy for myself as possible. But I mean, when you're irresponsible and impulsive and puckish, I think it's easier to put that into a female character.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah.
I mean, because the character, I mean, Lizzie herself, I mean, it's her name, even though there's all these other characters, this is a comic. This is another thing to love about it. It's a comic where the main character, is the title banner. Do you know what I mean?
We talk a lot about that.
Yeah, in an indie world where books are called, I can't remember what happened to the milk, or something like that. You know what I mean? They're all these like long titles. Lizzie Parsec is like, right, we're getting this comic about her, and it's also not a book where we have the main character and we're spending more time with other people than the main character. The main character is front and center. They are the driving force for the story. But how is she as a character, even though you've clearly, in some ways you're laying down the track as you're making it in terms of storytelling, and now that you've thought about it and realised how big the story could go. But how has she changed and evolved as a character from issue 1 to issue 5 now? How have you changed? Have you changed how you thought about her as well?
No, that's really interesting, and I think it really hasn't started to come onto the page yet. But there's definitely been like some reckoning with okay, because she's not she's not completely lacking in a conscience, So I think anybody who commits a murder and runs off is going to have some second thoughts about that. But it's a story the way it is right now is she's just in flight mode. She's like, I don't have time to think about this. And but later on, as it does sort of evolve, I really don't know how to say this without giving too much away. But she definitely starts to feel some guilt about the what's going on. But I don't think I'm really not that interested in her internal monologue about that. I think that if I do it right, the reader will understand the complexities of what she's going through without having to hold their hand and walk them through it.
That's interesting. Like to do that in a comic as well, which is very much, a lot of the time it's show, isn't it? It's sometimes you lose the subtle nuance of like the lift of an eyebrow, perhaps, unless you've really got your, acting on, your drawing acting on point, So, do you see that as being a challenge, as sort of telling all of that without revealing all of that? Because you are putting trust in your readers as well, aren't you? Which is great.
You've got to have the waves hit her, haven't you, and her react to it, I guess.
I think one of the things this kind of ties back into is that I think for one of the big differences between this comic and my previous attempts at drawing them is that the things that I wasn't super interested in, I just didn't do because I didn't feel like obligated to do them. So, for example, like the last couple comics I'd done, I was trying to get really creative with the panels and the paneling and just do all this stuff with it. And then when this one came along, I was just like, no, screw all that. I'm just going to do these little lines for panels, and that'll just keep my head in the game. It'll keep me doing the things that and working on the stuff that I think will help the comic. But as for her character, it's just like, I think she's fine the way she is. So it's just kind of like she could have like a big page long, internal monologue about, oh my God, what have I done? Am I really the person who's set upon these events? Oh, you know what? Forget it. And then she just cracks a beer or something like that. What am I doing? I'm getting too in my own head.
Yeah, let's not think about our own fucking problems too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because also sometimes that can break a reader's sort of relationship with a character as well. Certainly in any sort of fiction, I think, because we buy into what they are to begin with, don't we? You know what I mean? Like you buy into a Frank Castle. Ring the bell. It's the Punisher moment.
Hey.
But you buy into your Frank Castle. You want your Frank Castle. You want him to go on a bit of a journey, yes. But if ever he stopped to have a monologue about his guilt about things.
Yeah, well, it's happened recently, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Nobody,
yeah. And if it's not handled well, then immediately like, I don't want this. Do you know what I mean? This is what I signed up for. I guess one of the advantages you got with Lizzie is like, because she is a Rolling Stone, she's coming into contact with new people, new adventures, disasters, everything else, isn't it? So there's always something new to throw at her.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is like it's kind of something that I've started calling competence porn, and I was thinking it more and more because I was like trying to I was just as a fun little exercise, I was trying to like write out all, like the basic story types that there were, and I got through a bunch of them. Kind of realized it was sort of a futile effort, but one of the things that I got stuck on was competence porn, because there's so many good movies that are just showing you somebody who knows what they're doing and watching them deal with an adverse event very competently in a way that maybe not everybody knows. Nobody knows how to fly a spaceship. So this girl who knows how to hotwire a spaceship is suddenly the most interesting person because nobody knows how to do that. So you just kind of like, you're giving yourself underhand tosses for like, ways to make the story interesting, ways to make her look cool,
Yeah, and I think also sometimes with a comic though, like we have that shorthand of in sci-fi, like you say, no one knows how to fly a spaceship. But when you're in that sci-fi world, sometimes a reader's brain could probably think, well, everyone can fly a spaceship like everyone can drive a car, or things like that. But all it takes is one moment of someone going, I don't know how to do that, just to evidence that like, okay.
That absolutely happens in episode 5, actually. So glad you brought that up.
Yeah, because we have the reaffirmation that like this person can do more than what
makes them relatable as well immediately. Yeah,
and I realized that I had to like throw that in somewhere, because I was like, wait, what if people just think that everybody can do this?
Has there been a sci-fi moment where someone's flying a spaceship and it breaks down and they got to call out like the Green Line or someone to come fix the fucking spaceship in space?
Oh man, there's got to be, right?
But
I am convinced if I'm in the future though, I'll be able to fly a spaceship. Just so we're clear about that.
Oh yeah. I mean, we'll have our own spaceship, Tony. You know that.
The multipass.
Yeah, but also there's those moments in sci-fi, isn't it? Like, or just any story in general. If something breaks down like that, there's something on the ship that can fix it.
Yeah.
But if you think about real life, sometimes there isn't. So is it more interesting to figure out, well, what happens if there isn't? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You have the characters expecting there to be something, and then when they realize there isn't, there's this moment where they're all just like, "Oh, we're fucked."
Yeah.
Which is basically a parallel for life, isn't it? That's what I say. Yeah.
I guess you don't want to get too bogged down in the details with you, like spaceships fly around the space and go to planets and.
Yeah, no, we don't need too many Debbie Downers, do we? About the fucking spare tires not in the boot. Or
the
something,
Batmobile. Who said that? Was it Grant Morrison? Did the old? Who gives a shit about?
We don't want to know who makes the tyres for the Batmobile.
Yeah,
I think it was the phrase, something like that, wasn't it? Yeah, and he's right, isn't he?
Yeah. Although they might make a comic about it these days. Yeah. In terms of like sci-fi, then, like what do you enjoy, Hugh? What do you enjoy in terms of your sci-fi? In terms of comics, do you read many sci-fi comics, or do you read a lot of other things?
I've been reading all kinds of stuff. I think my first manga was like Ranma,
Right.
so it's not even that I pick out sci-fi exclusively, but there's been a couple of new ones that I thought were good. There's this Simon Roy has got some really good titles out. I liked that. And then I just read this one, The Hard Switch by Owen D. Pomeroy.
Oh yeah, we reviewed that.
Yeah,
we know,
yeah.
That one really felt like you were in the spaceship. There was a couple moments where they're just sitting there shooting the shit, and I was just like, this is one of those moments where you're like, you can feel the hum of the ship. You're flying at an unbelievable speed, and you're just kind of bored.
Yeah, nice.
Reader's not bored, but
English sci-fi. There you go.
Yeah. And just to let the listeners know, like on the Zoom call, we literally saw Hugh just pick up a load of books that he had near him.
Just to the right of him, yeah. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, and like, nice.
I thought it'd be nice to be prepared a little bit. Honestly.
now that Lizzie's getting out there a bit, Hugh, are you finding people are approaching you to do like covers for them, and are you networking a little bit with other people?
Well, like I said, I just moved, and that's one of the reasons why the 5 was kind of supposed to be out by now. But as it was, like the moving took longer than I thought, and we've just been taking care of all that and stuff like that. So I haven't really had time to really start casting a net out. But I mean, Portland's a great place for that because you've got Floating World and you've got Image and Dark Horse and Oni. So I would like to reach out to these guys and talk to them about stuff like that. And if like you said, if people want to collab on covers, I'm really open to that.
Ooh,
yeah, it's great. Small press is great for that.
Yeah,
man.
You've just thrown a net out there to our listeners. Bloody hell. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, you're clearly. I mean, I can see. The only way's up for you in terms of like comics, because but the language of comics, that's what we also see in this comic. You're clearly someone that knows that the pacing of things, the influences are all there. I can see this being collected by a publisher somewhere at some point.
That'd be really cool, actually. But
you are literally like it's available. Like, people can download it now, can't they? If
you can go. Well, we will do that at the end. But
it's one of those. I do. We always say throw someone a couple of bones if you can do those sort of things. Pay what you want, sort of thing.
The intention was to have this next one, episode 5, be free, and then maybe think about pivoting to maybe a pay model for the later ones, or I don't know. What do you guys think?
Man, that's a tough one.
Yeah, and the whole sort of doing a webcomic and then publishing it as a book, we thought was a joke when people started doing that, but they do seemingly sell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Even though you can go and read it online, people are still buying the physical book. It's a strange anomaly at the moment. We don't really understand it.
I've experienced a little bit of that too. I think my goal was and is still, at least for the time being, to just get it in front of as many people as possible.
Yeah, I think you're very wise. Yeah, definitely at the starting point.
And that's clearly like what should happen. It's the word of mouth of books like this, and it was literally, just finding it in the middle of nowhere, especially with the US creator. Because we're in the UK, finding some of these independent US creators and stuff is quite difficult for us, isn't it, guys? Like, unless people send stuff through. So having that pop up, and the importance of a good cover.
Yeah,
how to design a cover.
I mean, I try.
And it is.
You always look on them and you're like, oh man, I could have made that better, but whatever. I think that's every artist does that.
Yeah. But I mean, what is there in terms of like the design of the covers? Because there's no. Is it just you create the artwork and then fit the words around it, or things like that? What goes into designing like a Lizzie Parsec cover?
Well, the first one, or I guess the second one, the one where she's like cross-armed with the ship's flying behind her. That I think I was just like. I was thinking, like, make it look like Saga. Like, okay. So I just was kind of trying to rip off Saga a little bit. So I was like, they do the blank white backgrounds with the characters in the foreground. I can do that. And then I put, let's put a planet in the background so people know it's in space. Done.
Well, I mean, you're honest. I mean, that's what we could tell. There's a wonderful honesty to all of this. What inspires the sort of ads and other sort of it's not so much back matter, it's almost like extra matter.
Yeah. Well, it's like you get to the end of a story and you're like, that was good, but like I really wish I could flesh out the world a little more. And then you just my response and the fact that it was like little kids' toys, I think was partly just to make it like, I don't know, feel like, why are kids? This isn't for kids. Why are there ads for little kids' toys? And I don't know. I thought it was funny. I thought it was like weird to like, so they're.
But did you used to sort of read like back issues and stuff like that had those sort of action figures? Because the design of them is very reminiscent to like when I used to see toy action figure. I mean, Dan, you've done that in like you've done it in lots of work, haven't you?
See an action figure, like,
yeah.
Never used to get them in the UK either. So you'd see
we just look longingly at these ads like.
There's so many ads. I think that they exist. Yeah.
I mean, this is also rife for a toy line, surely. One day when it gets to that, you know.
That'd be awesome.
I remember turning up at the fucking shop asking for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures that were in the comic. Never fucking turn up.
Really?
Yeah.
What is this before they had the cartoon?
Before the cartoon, well, it's just on the verge of between when they were kind of doing they were cool, and then they went into like having the cartoons. You liked them before they were cool,
right, Dan? Yeah.
No, I think I've got two-ish. One was like the kind of the one with the red masks, and the one was another one, and I was like, what the fuck? These are the same comic. I don't understand. It must have been a reprint. It wasn't one of the original run. There's no way I could have.
Yeah.
But
my wife's brother is super obsessed with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and he's got them all.
Nice.
Yeah. Him and his wife run a little like toy comic gaming tabletop collectible store over in Lafayette, Oregon. So I want to give them a shout out to Mana Club.
Nice. Yeah, we're always about sharing the love for stuff like that.
Do they stock Lizzie Parsec over there, Hugh?
Yeah, they do when it's on the shelf.
Hey,
nice.
There you go, good.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice. Here's a question I have for you in terms of like just another quick science fiction question. Well, it could be quick. Now, how much of the science do you know? This is something I always think about because I always think more. My brain is more fiction than science, and like when it comes to like, open up this wormhole. I know things like wormholes and parallel universe. I know the words, but people could probably, if I did a script for Lizzie Parsec, people could probably rip it apart, thinking, well, that wouldn't work. How much do you know about the science of stuff?
A pretty good amount. Like I know my thermodynamics, and I know the physics of heavenly bodies is very circular, right? So instead of being like up, down, left, right, you're like prograde, retrograde, periaxis, and delta V, and they all kind of combine to like, you want to spend as little fuel as possible, so you have to time it. But this would kind of suppose that like we're a little bit beyond that, to where we can let's just brute force it, just ram the throttle. I'm going to Saturn. I'm not going to wait for the window. I'm just going to go to Saturn right now. So there's obviously this like these stages of warp speed that you can go to. And one of them is kind of like for when you're in a solar system, and one is for when you're kind of going between solar systems. And that is coming. That's going to come, and it's going to be laid out in gruesome detail when it's time for that, because there is a chase scene in the coming the one after this one, where she actually performs a warp speed merge of their, what I call them, end space bubbles, and she's going to try and board a ship that's trying to fly away in hyperspace, which is extremely dangerous. And so there's just a lot of that kind of stuff. And then when you start asking like, well, what's the fuel, then I just start throwing random crap out like, it's enriched hydrox or something, I don't know.
There's that, they call it isn't there a term like the Star Trek sort of words?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's a language.
It's a bit of a controversial question. In Last Jedi, the hyperspace ram?
The maneuver, the hyperspace.
Yeah, the holdo maneuver. What do you think? Yeah or nay?
Oh, it's fine. I think it's incredibly expensive. I can see why they wouldn't do it. I love the effect. Just like,
yeah, that was great on cinema. I've got to say,
for me to be on board was just to get to see everything just exploding. That was great. I honestly think like people who are like, well, this changes space combat. It's like, no, it doesn't. You don't want to slam. You don't want to ram your ship into another ship.
So do you think that like if a science fiction creator, if there's a small press or indie science fiction creator out there who's planning to do, you know, things that's dealing with stuff, it is incumbent on them to at least do some research, find out a little bit about how the bread is made.
I think it really is all about like finding out what you're obsessed with and just going all the way with it. Like having obsessions is the biggest tool in your toolbox when you're telling a story, especially visually, because you know what stuff looks like, but you also probably have a lot of like resources that you can just like go pull up and kind of use as references. But like, you know, for me, one of the big obsessions, like aviation, it's easy to transpose a lot of the same lingo, you know, like understanding how air traffic control works and then just kind of transposing that to how it would be in space. But like anything that you're obsessed with, if you're working on a story, figure out how to put it in there, because it's just going to give you so much substance as long as you are truly into the thing. I think is what it is.
It's going to keep you going as well, isn't it? It's going to keep your interest up. It's going to keep you pushing through with that comic.
Exactly.
As long as you got a bit of consistency in your world building and everything sort of makes sense. And
I think also like you're saying, if your interests or something are like in something that's real world, and you're dealing with such an extra strange universe, it's a way of making it more real, isn't it? Like you say, like air traffic control. I think that's a brilliant way of describing it, because I don't want to spoil this for anyone. All these warp speeds and all of this stuff that we get in sci-fi stuff doesn't exist. So, but if you're having someone talk in a certain way that makes it seem like it's a mechanical, or you know, just bit by bit, they're using this dialogue. It's like, oh, this actually looks like something that could be real. It would be functional, rather than just hit the button. Do you know what I mean? If it's just hit the button, then it could be anything, can it? Really?
Obviously, you got to kind of chat up, because have you ever seen footage of like when you're on board like a fighter craft and like it's like footage of them engaging another enemy, and it's like just them flying in the sky, it's all white, and then like got the crack on the radio, and it's like there's a guy like 50 miles out. I've got a lock on him, firing.
Yeah, box 2, radio.
Yeah, he's gone. There's none of this like fucking Top Gun
Danger
stuff,
zone.
Flying around and stuff. It's just like a really dispassionate. I've got it. Yeah.
Employed. Oh, totally. Like I think that's a great thing, is have this big build up to a fight, and then just have the guy get like lanced by a.
Yeah, it's just it's gone.
Yeah. But it's like when you see like, you know, footage of NASA and stuff, and they're talking about like, okay, so that's gone wrong. Okay, let's see if you can attach that.
Deadpan.
And it's so deadpan, even though like you're probably like when, you know, the spaceship explodes or whatever, and then afterwards everyone's like, fuck. You know, like but there's no sort of over the top dramatic, my God, what's happened? It's almost
I guess it depends on how you tell your story, isn't it? Like, because some people want that drama and other people like.
And also in comics, we've got to have. You can't. I mean, deadpan's good with probably one character, but if every single one of your characters is deadpan, there's absolutely no emotion going through it. And one thing here about your characters, there's reactions on the face, and I just need to, you know, before we let you go, I've just got to put praise again on issue 1 when Lizzie starts a ship by pounding her face.
That's fucking gold. Yeah,
that is amazing.
Yeah,
but then she stays disfigured for a while.
Yeah,
her face is fucked up for a while, which I love. Yeah.
Continuity.
Yeah,
but it's also
it had to be done.
It's such a simple joke. It's like, I don't know what button to press, and I think her arms are tied behind her back, isn't it? So how am I going to do this? I'll just headbutt. And normally it's like it works first time, isn't it? But it's like, no, this isn't going to work. So she just keeps headbutting this control panel, but she's got big swollen. I mean, that's another thing to like the ability to make these, you know, your hot main girl unattractive. Do you know
The
what I
thing
mean?
is,
That
we've got
willingness to do that.
we've got a town here who you called Newcastle, and it's full
God.
of women who will headbutt you who've got big swollen lips.
I just want to say that Tony is
Sounds like a good
talking for himself there. I'm not going to say that.
You want to visit it? It's a cracking place.
Don't wear a jacket.
Yeah, in the winter.
No, don't wear a jacket.
Oh
Yeah.
God. But yeah, I especially like that. I think when I talked about the first issue, that particular page was
That was fantastic.
Exquisite.
Yeah, lovely sequence. Yeah.
I wish I could remember what I was thinking when I drew it. I just remember just being like, well, I want to show that she's like determined.
Yeah.
yeah. And like it's just the constant smacking. I'm looking at the page now. There's 3 panels of her just headbutting this console. On the 4th, you see blood spatter from her face, as it says online. But it's the last. It's a joke. The page is essentially like it treats it like it's got a brilliant punchline, because the last page is her swollen face as she goes, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Success. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like he's like kind of bucking the like, you know, preoccupation with she's pretty, but she doesn't really care. It's just her face is another tool that she uses.
Yeah.
Again,
Get a job
reflecting real life.
So, I mean, you know, more people need to know about Lizzie Parsec. Hugh, I think you're doing great work. I can't wait to see what the future issues and the, you know, I mean, knowing that you've got I don't know how you've blown this story into like 40, 50 episodes. That's wild, thinking what you're going to do with it.
There's a little bit of a clue on the last page of episode 4 where it's got like a map.
Yeah.
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 Every single one of those things is going to get involved. So, but
And you've left us waiting on that as the glass cracks in issue 4.
oh yeah,
We're like, oh fuck, here we go.
Yeah. And in fact, the last thing she says is shit, which is quite a realistic response. So when can we expect episode 5? I mean, obviously, the real life and moving the house and stuff. But how is issue 5 going?
Oh, it's going great. I'm back in the swing of it. You know, I'm working on I'm coloring a page every day. It's all inked. It's 28 pages, and I'm about halfway through coloring it. So we're looking at the end of the month or beginning of September at the latest.
Jesus Christ.
It's going to be a fun one. We catch up with the crew of the Normie Irony and see what they're up to. We catch up with Lord Braden and see what he's up to, and it's insane.
Nice. I think that's one thing we can say for certain, that there's no certainty in what's going to happen in Lizzie Parsec. There's a real unknown quality about what I'm going to get with each issue that I think.
Well, I'm glad that I want people to be a little bit like, ooh. Yeah,
and it's sort of like, and sometimes you get caught up in another sort of story, and then all of a sudden, like you say, that alien symbiotic ooze monster comes back, and you're like, oh fuck, I forgot about that. You know, so you know, can't wait to see what's coming. Where can people find you, man, and follow you and get the comic? Okay, so you can read the comic on Global Comics, and you can get the comic on itch.io, which I think is HughNewell.itch.io, and that's if you want to throw me a couple bucks, there's a pay what you want on there. My main website is HughNewell.com. It's got some fun sketches and other art that I did. And Instagram at Hugh Newell. That's a good one. I'm on there a lot. Did you have a month where you drew spaceships for an entire month? Did you do? Yeah, last year, yeah. That was kind of an exercise, but Dan does exercises like that, and I think it's the sort of exercise that hurts. No, it's fun right now, and I'm able to work on this thing almost every day, and I think it was a habit forming exercise for sure, and it definitely like helped. You know, I mean, it's comic drawing is so hard, and it takes so much time. You've got to find ways to almost drill it in. But I want to say one more thing. If you're really curious, there's a short film I made in 2006 on YouTube called The Caterpillar Acid, and it's a sci-fi, and it's about a bounty hunter named Sved Snowcone, who was played by my friend JJ, who shows up at the end of episode 4. So kind of like I'm tying the universes in together that way.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, Yeah, if you
For
want
people who didn't catch that, that's the caterpillar acid.
watch that.
The Caterpillar
right?
Acid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caterpillar Acid, yeah, it's on YouTube. I made another film, a feature in 2010 called Days of Fury, but it's a completely different story.
Wow.
Okay, I'll have a look for that.
Yeah. He's just dropped at the end. Well, I made a couple of films.
Yeah.
I hear you.
But what he really loves doing is making comics. And that's why he was
Yeah.
here today. And Hugh, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Can't wait to see what's coming next. Keep us posted on everything that's coming next. And listeners, go check out Lizzie Parsec because you'll be a fan like we are.
It was great talking to you guys. I really appreciate you having me on the show.
And welcome back. You might have some outtakes because in between what you.
Plump talk.
I'm sure you think that this is a well-oiled machine, very professional.
We are. We know exactly when to go quiet and all that. Blah, don't we?
Yeah. I mean, we should do it. It's been a decade of doing this. Jesus Christ.
Did we ever work out how many episodes, how long it would take to listen to everything? We should work that out one day, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've just been here shooting shit and shaping lives. That'd be a good catchphrase, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
There may be a little outtake at the end of the show as we talked about potential catchphrases we're going to give ourselves. Although Dan didn't have one.
He's a living catchphrase, isn't he?
He's a living catchphrase. Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Nice. Walking, talking catchphrase.
Nice.
He's the Dusty Ben of indie comics.
Oh, 3, 2, 1. Do you remember what was was that show Dusty Ben was on in the UK?
I think it was. I don't know now.
Oh God, that's how old we are.
Yeah.
But that was
3, 2, 1.
That was. I think it was 3, 2, 1. Even though I've just said 3, 2, 1, I just made the action.
I think that is the name of the show. I think so.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, listeners will.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
American listeners are like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, but just know that I was making a movement with my fingers, and the lads knew what I was talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
In terms of the TV show 3, 2, 1. Do we have any
like early when you were doing this? Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
You kept doing that.
Look at this. Look at this.
Flicking the bean gesture.
Not the baked bean though.
What you
Vince,
don't get
fuck
me
with no baked beans.
Don't fucking get me started.
Big shout out to Matt for drawing that cover.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of which, should we have some shout outs, Jen?
Shout-outs, yeah.
Okay. So Chris Askham has the new 8th issue of his Not Safe for Work series, Switchblade Stories, is now on Kickstarter, killing it, absolutely killing it on there. But after we mentioned it last week, he said, would you mind shouting out Kickstarter? And most certainly.
This looks great, this book.
The Dual Animal Anthology, Volume 1, is now launched on Kickstarter as well. It's a collection of sci-fi, fantasy, and horror comics curated by a mysterious cyborg. It's slick. It's got a slick as fuck YouTube animation as well, advertising it, which I looked at earlier. This has come through to the emails, guys. So go and have a look at it. Real mix of styles in both theme and some are quite cartoony, some are more sort of realistic. So look out for Dual Animal Anthology. Next Friday, the 15th of August, if you listen to this in the week of release, from 7:30 to 10 p.m. is the next drink and draw. I'm hoping it's not going to be as hot as this, to be fair.
Yeah.
I did keep saying I'm going to put it off till it's less hot, and everyone went, we need one now. Okay, so we're having one. Everyone's welcome. Invite your friends. DUI 4 is begun. Simon Russell is chairing it. If you really want to get into it and really want to contribute to this great anthology, this is the 4th volume of it, raising money for a charity, then come join the Slack and maybe you can and find someone to collaborate with. I know there's quite a few. We're quite keen on new people. We're quite keen on maybe family people. Well, Simon's quite keen on families, and as we are, and people maybe working with their kids or something like that as well. So that's good. American Nature 3 is released on the 24th of September. If you want to pre-order it, there's a good way to do that. You can go to the Forbidden Planet site where it is reduced from £6.20 to £3.95. How good is that? 48 pages of content on this one, comics and articles. I've written something for it. So go and find that, American Nature 3. Lovely to see the 3rd issue's coming out soon as well. They're after their Eisner win, get behind them because they're the hotness now. There you go. Never mind.
Nice. What have you got, Dan?
The Johnny Ryan comic, Fuck My Son, you're saying it's going to be made into a film? Which,
yeah, there's like
there's
like an Instagram account.
Yeah, making that fucking book is insane. I just can't imagine what it's going to be like. It's nuts. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, I want to see
Crazy.
that. Well, paying for it's now a movie, isn't it? I want to see that as well.
Right, okay. See, that's
Yeah.
slightly more doable than
Yeah, then
Fuck My Son.
Fuck My
which is-
Son.
You can't even say the title, right?
The only image on the Instagram is a picture of the mum, and they seem to have cast her very well.
Yeah, they've done it well.
Yeah,
Look forward to seeing how that plays out one way or another. We've got Clockwork Werewolves, issue 2, gothic steampunk horror. A group of survivors find themselves trapped in the heart of a clockwork werewolf's lair, and time is running short. Tick, tick. That is from our friends at Hellbound Media. That is absolutely storming towards this goal. Got another 20 odd days to go on that one, so do go check that out. I've been looking through their stuff, what they've been punching out, just steadily putting books out, and there's fucking loads. They're really, really doing well.
I've backed a few of them.
Yeah, Hellbound are tried and true, just a proper UK indie small press that clearly love horror. They know what they're doing. They always deliver.
They love proper horror as well.
Yeah, they've got.
They don't love this. Oh, she's fallen in love with a vampire horror. They like we're pulling your eyeballs out horror.
Yeah,
which I like. Yeah,
and if you've met either of the guys or any of the team at a convention, you can have a massive. And you've got some weirdo exploitation horror that you like. These are the guys to talk to.
Yeah,
because they'll fucking love it.
What's the one on the farm?
Stuff.
Was it Slaughterhouse Farm?
Slaughterhouse Farm.
That took it to fucking 11, man. Love that. That's really good.
Yeah.
I think it's Chat. I'm kind of currently working on the Green Archer, the complete book for the Green Archer guys,
Nice.
Alan and Ben. That's fucking coming on great. The artwork for the covers looks fantastic, and the book is shaping up to be really good. So do keep an eye out for that. I think they posted up the link for the Kickstarter the other day.
Yeah, I think there's a sign-up link, wasn't there? Is that right?
Yeah, so there's a sign-up link on Kickstarter. Go and check out Green Archer, and then sign up for that. It's going to be a fucking huge, great big tome. Looks great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of looking great, Tony Esmond.
Thank you.
Looking nice as always. And that's
New shirt, actually. New shirt.
Very nice. You look very put together. You must have impressed a lot of people when you were out and about today. How was today's Comic Mart?
Can I go back and talk about going out and about last week? Firstly.
Oh yeah, you certainly.
So very quickly, me and Keith, Mr. Cliff Cumber. We had a day out in St Austell in Cornwall together on holiday. We've come on holiday by mistake. It's a phrase we used a lot during that trip. And we went to Into the Realm, which is the comic shop in St Austell in Cornwall, run by the brilliant Wendy. Now, this is what happened. On the way down, I rang ahead because the mobile number for the shop is on Google. I thought it was always a good idea. Comic shops can be a little bit flaky, can't they? Do you know what I mean? And I rang ahead and said, I was just checking you're open. I'm coming down from London, and the Keith is from Maryland, so we're just checking you're open. And she says, I'm not, but I will. I'll come down and open up. And she came in to open up, sent us to a nice little place to get a coffee, come and collected us. This is what Wendy did. Come and collected us from the cafe. We're having a cookie and a coffee. And then we had a lovely... There's some great stuff in there. Loads of Silver and Bronze Age DC stuff in there, like some really good stuff. And Cliff got a Prog 1.
That's awesome.
At a very reasonable price. And she was prepared to do a deal. And loads of British Weekly stuff in there. There's almost a run of 2000 AD. Loads of Battle in there. Really good stuff in there. I came away with, well over £100 worth of comics. So I cannot recommend it more. Into the Realm, run by Wendy. St Austell, just look it up on Google, you'll find it. She's got a Facebook page as well. Really good stuff. Moving on, then today I went to the Comic Mart. So I think there's not a Comic Mart until I checked just now, October the 5th.
Oh, so
we've got a bit of time. Yeah. And one in November. And met up with Eamon, had a bit of breakfast with Eamon, then we went in. A couple of new stalls, actually. There's one that was selling some British-centric art. So they had some 2000 AD stuff. They had some of the Daily Dreads, the newspapers, Daily Dread stuff. They had some Modesty Blaze, some other stuff on the walls, and they had a lot of art books. And I bought a load of comics journals I've been after for a while. Stuff like that, comics features, a couple of other things, comic media news, all this sort of thing. So it's it's nice to see a new stall there. Because sometimes you do go there and it's a bit samey if you're a regular. Yeah. So it's nice to see it. So I bought quite a lot of good stuff there.
rhythm magazines, didn't they, as well?
Yes. Yeah, they had some gentlemen's magazines from the
Yeah.
70s and 80s, which I put up on the Slack and said, "Know your audience."
Yeah, they knew
Yeah.
the audience. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, good.
I
Sounds
still
good. Yeah.
Still laugh. We went to that fucking geezer selling the DVDs. You said to him, have you got any for people being killed?
He didn't really reply either, did
No.
he? Didn't really know what to say.
No.
Not
Yeah.
films.
I found the picture of the, I'm going to say it's Fiesta magazine. I took a photograph of it, and it was only £4.50. I'm not sure what nick it's in. It's not a good thing to buy a second-hand pornographic magazine, sometimes,
dear
I'm going to
God.
say. So the titles of the articles in this magazine are featured on the cover, and they are "Can't Do Your Stuff, Send In the Fluff, The Reality of Hardcore Movies." And then the next one is "I Did Things I'll Be Ashamed of All My Life." And then the next one is part 2 of our white slavery feature. The next article is "Are You Psychic? Test yourself out on our ESP chart." So they're the articles in it.
Yeah.
Sounds
I
like
hate
not
to
a
buy
bad
an
read,
adult.
that. Yeah.
Hate to buy an adult mag to know if I'm psychic.
That's all. Yeah. When I'm buying it in the shop, the woman always knows what I'm thinking, seemingly. So
Yeah. She's a mind reader. So I know what he's going to be doing later.
There you go. But yeah, good fun had as it was every other one or something like the Comic Mart is half Funkos and half comics.
Okay.
But it seems like the Funkos is declining, and there wasn't quite the rush for them. And in the Funko bit, there was quite a few comic stalls as well. Maybe
I
that's
think
on the
they've
way
had their
out now.
day. I think Funkos have had their day.
What are those weird things that look like fucking rabbits with people's faces on?
I mean, we say day. It's been like decade. It's been a decade.
Yeah.
They've had a.
There's been some talk about some other thing, and I was like, I'm just trying to block that fucking thing
But
out.
saying that, they were still like
consciousness.
They still got a big presence at things like San Diego and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still.
I'm sure. Yeah.
You know, maybe locally it's not. You know, especially in the UK.
I popped up to London on Thursday with the sun in tow. We went into Forbidden Planet, and the manga section is massive down there now. I'm sure you've been there loads of times, Steve, but like it's fucking huge. But I think maybe because it was the holiday, the buzz in there was ridiculous.
That's good.
It reminded me of being in a comic shop like 20 years ago, with people like excitedly getting books and then showing them to their friends and saying, "Look at this! Look what's out here." There's just a real buzz and energy about people like going around looking at the manga.
You know, it happened to me. I mean, in a friggin' Waterstones. Do you know what I mean? I think I said this story like a few weeks ago. I was there by the small graphic novel section. To the left of me, there's like, and this isn't one group of kids. There's like two like either kids talking to their parents or to their friends or whatever, talking about, oh, I need that volume. I've got to get that volume. Or they're talking about, and I was looking at it thinking, wow. Do you know what I mean? Where's this energy for? And then I looked at the graphic novel section, which seems to be, you know, some Guardian reader's book about something depressing, and I'm like, right. Okay. Do you know what I mean, though? Do you know what I mean?
It always is, mate.
I mean, it's
always tatty. There's always big gaps in the shelf, and you know.
You know, as much as you know how important these books are, but kids don't always want to read Mouse.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or even Watchmen.
Yeah. They don't. But like, and these volumes. I mean, Dan. I mean, these are manga books that have been going hundreds of volumes, aren't they? Sometimes, and they're always doing it.
Mate, they're the one my son's reading at the moment is that Dan LaDan or Dan the Dan.
Oh yeah.
They've only got a series.
I've seen some of the art from that. It looks pretty impressive.
Yeah, there's a series running on Netflix, so you're getting that kind of what's in the book is in the animation.
I think that's also
directly translation.
The delivery of that, isn't it? It's sort of like, right, what you see on the screen is exactly what you get in the book, so therefore.
So it's a whole shelf of those books and a half again.
Yeah.
And there was some lads like randomly went, "Dad, can you come over to the shelf for me?" I was like, "All right." So I kind of picked the books off from me, and then as he was wandering around, he said, "Oh, there's like an 18 section over there." I was like, "Oh yeah." So obviously, I went over there straight away.
Of course,
I was looking at
just make sure there's no kids in there.
make sure, yeah. And there was one with like an outrageous title, and I turned around and showed it to my wife, and she was like, "Put that back."
that sounds about.
She's touring around London with 2 children. Yeah,
that sounds about right. Amazing. Look at this. Opening the pages.
No, they're all cellophaned up.
Yeah,
Can't open
as
them
well
up.
they should
Yeah.
be. That is
Yeah.
very wise. That is very wise.
Well,
But-
recently I found they're cellophaned up not just for the sexual stuff, but also for there's quite a lot of racial stuff in the 50s and 60s stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah,
hell.
yeah.
yeah. You know, it's just being responsible, though, isn't
Heavy.
it? You know, it's
Yeah, man. Like that's the materials out. You can't go through the fucking entire history with a scrubbing brush and remove
No.
everything that's.
There's some of it's like Tezuka and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
just
you
have to
know.
sort of
What
say
you can
that
do, go
this
back and
stuff
change
was-
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff was like this back in the day, and it's fucking. We've moved on, but you can't go through and erase history.
But I do think, obviously, you know, one of the reasons. I mean, manga's struck a chord with a generation that's like 1-2 generations below us or something like that. And you know, long may you know, because they're reading comics. Let's face it, they're fucking comics.
Yeah.
If this
Thank
gets
God for manga.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And they're telling long form stories, but I think there's also the importance of when they do these adaptations, when they do these, like you say, the Netflix anime sort of stuff is obviously a huge part of it now. But but they also use that, and that will feed the sales of the book, because as you say, like say you've got 4 seasons of a story and there's 10 books. A kid or a reader is going to know, if I book, right, I've finished the 4th season, what's going to happen next in the story? Oh, the book's out. They can immediately pick it up, and then they can go buy it back to complete their collection, because if they're fans, they want to complete the collection, which is a massive thing as well. So, you know, they're staying current, they're learning, and they'll still go back and they'll watch the animated ones because they want to see an adaptation of it. It's almost like there's no failure to that format, I would say.
That Demon Slayer, the last adaptation of the last books, is going to be coming to cinemas, I think, at the end of August.
And that's been massive.
That's a
hasn't it?
limited, yeah. So it's a limited release, but that's in cinemas.
Yeah, because your
So
son
it's
was really into the
fucking
demon.
big.
Your son was really
Yeah.
into demons.
That just blew up during COVID, didn't it?
Yeah.
During lockdown.
Yeah.
But that's like a series had a beginning, middle, and ends finished. I know that they've done loads of spin-off stuff, but it's a complete story. And like you said, the books feed into the anime and vice versa.
Yeah.
I've tried watching it. It doesn't connect with me, but I appreciate the craft in it.
Yeah,
It's one of those
exactly.
sort of things, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is with a lot of stuff. Is like you appreciate the craft, and certainly that goes to like anime as well. I know, obviously, animated movies in Japan they're like classic works of art anyway, but sometimes they look stunning, but they can be quite. Have you ever seen like when you see footage on
Yeah, some of it's just not,
and it's amazing, and I watch it, and it's like any other film. It can be dull. Do you know what I mean? It just is the way, like a real life film of this thing, I would think, oh, it's actually quite dull, you know.
I'm always interested in when they make movies from manga. So there's a great Tezuka movie called Barbara, I think it's called Barbara, which is about a man who falls in love with it's a bit like Mannequin, but sexier and weirder. And I read that by
pretty
Tezuka.
sexy.
Yeah, and I watched it, and it's such a good film. It's like watching a really good art house film.
Right.
You know, they really do care about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that stuff you look it up, and they've made live action stuff of. Oh, wow, I didn't see that. That's
There is it's care. I think that's an important thing to say, Tony.
I did sign my son up for Crunchyroll for like over the summer holidays, and I looked at the catalog and that, and it's ridiculous. There's so much on it. It's
What is that, Dan? I don't understand what that is.
it's like a streaming service for anime.
Yeah.
Oh,
all
okay.
the anime.
So
One
it's
Piece,
like
One
£5
Piece,
a month.
yeah,
and
it's got One Piece
got
and
it all in
everything
there.
else, hasn't it? Because One Piece is
yeah,
a massive
well,
series.
the one there's how many fucking episodes? 500 odd episodes of that, and
Yeah.
The sales on
the
One
Dragon
Piece
Ball.
are absolutely will blow your mind. Just look them up. I think they're on the Wikipedia page for it. It's fucking unbelievable.
Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you get those numbers for fucking comics nowadays, man,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's be a massive industry.
People would retire
Yeah.
on it. You know.
Yeah. Oh dear. Gotta love it. As long as people are reading
That's
comics.
great. Yeah,
You know.
can't fault it.
And speaking of comics, should we recommend some comics to some
Yeah,
lovely people? Tony, do you want to go first?
I'll start with the one that we haven't. Then we'll move on to the one we've done together, Dan. Shall I just start on this other one first?
Yeah, you guys
So-
can finish us off.
Okay. The first one I've got is called the Jigsaw Review, and it's a Journal of Underground and Alternative Comics, issue 1, July 2025. Now, there's a little bit of a story connected to the cover for this. I don't know if I've told you about this, but I bought it, right? And it arrived. Do you remember we had that big rain this week? It arrived from Amazon, because it's a print on demand at Amazon, this. and it had one of the normal Amazon brown cardboard envelopes.
Oh
Right.
God.
Right. And when I got it, it had I don't know if you can quite see that. Can you see the sort of brown
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
marks?
Yeah.
I thought
yeah.
that had come through from the envelope.
Ah.
Right. So I asked to return it. They said there's no need to return it. We'll send you another one. So I got sent another one,
Yeah.
and then I let Mal, who's put it together and it's got a story in it. And he went, "No, that's how it is, you twat." He didn't say twat. He was very friendly. So I realised, oh, that's the design of the cover. Yeah. So it's sort of slightly aged, if you feel.
Right.
I mean.
Got ya.
So anyway, so Cliff got one.
So you get in contact with Amazon and say, "Sorry, there's been a mistake." I'll send it back.
No. They didn't want me to send it back anyway.
No, they don't. They don't give a shit. It's
No.
just, yeah.
So that was my bad. It's completely on me. That is. Otherwise, it is a lovely cover. I don't think it kind of needs the brown marks. I'm going to say because I absolutely, maybe it's because I've idealized it now, but I absolutely love that cover by Mal.
Yeah.
And Mal Earl. And I haven't got a clue how he drew it. There's an owl on the cover, and it's in this sort of Mal sort of fluidly line.
Oh, yeah, I do love that.
I've got no idea how he does that. It's just incredible.
The only thing I can kind of equate it to is like it reminds me of when someone's drawn a picture, but for the idea of having it coloured in, like the flow areas to fill. Do you know what I mean? That if you kind of trying to picture what this owl looked like, it's a
little bit. I see that. Yeah. The lines don't correspond to necessarily what they should sometimes, but as a whole, it works, and it's a beautiful thing, and it's done in that sort of French Review kind of old comics journal kind of. It's a big magazine size with a spine. It's a thick old thing, and inside it, I think Mal Earl has put it together. Inside, Mal gives an explanation of what it's about and gives a little summary of how comics have changed and how we and others approach their creation. And this continues into the book, and it's by a series of different creators. And at the start of each chapter, you get a little text piece, very small, not a long read, by each person about what they've done, how they've got there, what they're doing. There's some great names in this, some real names from my past. You got Bob Lynch, Simon Russell, Mal Earl, Chris Webster, Denny Derbyshire, Dave Metcalf Carr, and Paul Barlow. We know Dave, don't we? We did the fanzine thing.
Yep.
Morgan Gleave, John Bagnall, who's doing that Ugly Mug. Ed Pinson with Denny Derbyshire. Ed's been about for years, and he does Ugly Mug as well. And it's a right bunch of old blokes who kind of know what they're doing. Put it that way. They do. They really do. So some of my favourites. Solus is by Mal Earl, and this is from 1994. So they stretch back from the 80s. I think 88 is the earliest one, all the way through. So comics that were made in 88, all the way through to comics that are made in 2025, which is really interesting to see. And especially as soon as I opened it on Sadness in Space from Sav Sadness, and I thought that takes me straight back to those days of the comic marts and seeing that the really early self-published stuff, small press stuff, even before Harrier, even before all that fast fiction and all this sort of thing. But Mal does one from 1994, and it's from a limited ashcan. I had a word with Eamon about this, and we all know the phrase ashcan. Does anyone know where it's come from?
No,
because I don't.
No, I feel like I've read it, but I couldn't tell you what it is now.
I should have researched for that. Come on, but it just we both said today. I don't know where that's from. I'll have to look that up. But
I'll look it up now while you're talking to.
Okay, cool. And it's got a lovely setup. The Earth is dying in the year 2342, and protective pens have been built to protect the remaining sea life, mostly sort of stuff like humpback whales and things. And one man, his relief shift has failed to turn up to take over from him for the last 15 years. And he fights to protect the whales, and it's big and bombastic, and I love anything with a whale in. I've got to tell you, I once did that whole humpback whale spotting thing in America, and it still blows my mind thinking about it now. And it's another one of those sort of old warrior stories that we admire so much. Really sad, dark, but with some lovely action in it. Simon's story has got some of the best opening lines. I really love this opening line. It's called Devil's Dyke. One Sunday after a bit of a boozy night out, the devil fell out of the sky and landed in Sussex with a bump. That's so good. I just love that. And it's about the devil, great. And it's what happened. And it's full of these lovely little dark narration boxes commenting on what's going on. There's my other favourite probably is John Bagnall's an old joke. And it's about this old dude who goes to the barbers, then goes to the Vatican. And it leads to him being whispered a secret by the Pope, who he ends up meeting, and it being the punchline to an old joke. And it's so well balanced, this story. It reads so well. And he's got a series of comics and comic strips in there, John, as well. So some people don't just have one story in there. They've got like a series of little hits in there. And it just shows what these experienced dudes can do. These dudes who know about comics, they've been doing comics, reading comics, thinking about comics for just decades and decades. I looked at it as well, and it's sort of print on demand. We all think, print on demand, it's probably in China. This is in Dunstable. This is printed, which is about 8 miles that way. Okay. So I don't know. It just says printed in Dunstable on the back there, and I thought, well, that's all right.
Fair enough. Okay. Down the road.
Yeah. Just look for Mal Earl or the Jigsaw review, and you'll find a copy on Amazon. Came like it may come out the next day. Say what you will about Amazon, at least they're on.
That's brilliant. Yeah,
it's just one of those sort of things. But really like it's a long read as well. I perfectly a present for Cliff as well. I just because he and I are of an age where we appreciate the people in this. I think a bit more than some of the youngsters, but worth a read, learn a thing for some of the youngsters as well. Yeah, good stuff. There you go. It's my first one.
Hear about Ashcan?
Oh, go on.
The synopsis is an idea that the books were destined for the ashcan or trash, but there's a much longer article on CBR about how they were originally brought about to scam the United States Patent and Trademark Office. So
wow,
that got they were ashcans were reclaimed in the 80s apparently, where they actually started making proper ashcan comics. So
wow,
there's a whole thing about ashcan comics. There you go.
Oh, interesting. Nice. It's interesting.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Thank you, mate.
God, we always learn something on this show, don't we?
Yeah.
I'm going to jump in just quickly with a series that I read on Global Comics. Well, I discovered on Global Comics, but as always, I'm slow to the mark, and this is something that's been around for a few years. This is from the artist Steve Mannion, and it is the Fearless Dawn. His character Fearless Dawn, of which the book I'm going to talk about is the Fearless Dawn shorts, which I read and thoroughly enjoyed. I will say there's plenty more. There's a series called The Bomb, and this character, unbeknownst to me, really, has been around for a while, hasn't it, Tony?
Yeah, quite a while, man. Yeah, Mannion's always recognised as being one of the a good artist. Does quite a lot of sexy stuff, but good solid.
It's definitely like the cheesecake. EC that I can see Corbin, Eric Powell. I can see there's lots of things going on.
Okay,
an art style that just there's fully rendered things. There's some simple sort of inked and basic coloured stuff. There's pencil type, different coloured pencil pages. For shorts is basically a collection of different short tales, all featuring like the main character Fearless Dawn, or there are a couple of strips involving other characters from the universe. When I was looking up a synopsis for this, and this is one of the things I think I'll just read out this synopsis and then we can talk about it. But and it says, "Hey folks, we're back. Yuck yuck." It's always funny when they put something like that in a synopsis. Delivering this one-shot issue of Fearless Dawn's shorts, featuring 5 all-new short stories and 30 pages of content. All your favourite Fearless Dawn universe characters reenacting short stories from history, legend and folklore. In Run, we freak out as Fearless Dawn encounters some ghouls and ghosties from the haunted Devil's Den. Colourfully rendered in ink, marker and watercolours and displayed in beloved comic book format, which is why it looks so absolutely fucking gorgeous. In General Mud, Fearless Dawn defeats every army in sight. When you witness, flip the ever-loving mother out when you witness Jack the Ripper meeting his match. Dinosaurs, zombies, monsters, and sexy gals permeate this tome of comic goodness. In Fight, Fearless Dawn takes on her arch-nemesis Helga again for a duel to end all duels. A massive amount of comic book fun coming at you from Asylum Press, who put this out, and comics creator Steve Mannion. This is 44 pages. It's fucking gorgeous from front to back. It is a rollicking... There's a sort of I don't know why I call it an EC Comics vibe, but there is that sort of schlocky 1950s. There's a little bit of rockabilly in there. There's because as well as like he renders a beautiful woman. There's plenty of cheesecake, but he also does zombies, dinosaurs. There's all kinds of crazy stuff going on, and it looks absolutely stunning. I mean, I need to find out more about Steve Mannion books. Surely he's done stuff for things like Heavy Metal or Mad Magazine. Surely he must.
Maybe Heavy Metal.
He feels like that kind of artist that's done stuff like that. The reason I read out that synopsis, and there may be, I know there's listeners who know this character and know this books or know Mannion's work. This was new to me. It works because I kind of want to read more of it. I read this on Global Comics, and The Bomb is also on there as well, so I'm going to read that.
Okay. Yeah, that's his other big series, I think.
But
yeah.
I do, so this is a high recommendation because it is beautiful, and you'll discover, if you don't know Steve Mannion's work, this will get you hooked on it. It's brilliant. And there's a lovely sort of sense of humour to it. Sort of schlocky, crypt keeper. There's almost like a crypt keeper conceit to part of it that I really liked. And breaking the fourth wall, but in a fun way, not a Deadpool-y way. Oh, yes, I said it. But when you have like the synopsis of things like this, because I'm just out here looking for new things and this looked. I went for the looks. I got to say, the artwork. That's what drew me in. Okay. But if you're trying to sell a character like this, to a new reader such as me, like that synopsis. And I see this with a lot of books. These characters that have been around for a few years, they don't really say anything about what the character is apart from, oh, it's the same old stuff. We got this story and we got this story and we got this story. Find out more. There's more adventure featuring your famous character. Famous insert name here. Your favorite heroine. Blah 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 blah. So for a new reader, does that put you off if you're like dealing with? Oh God, I need to know this. I feel like I don't know anything about this. Do you know what I mean? If you're not going on art alone, do you understand what I'm trying to say here? Like, it sells it to people who already know the character.
Gotcha. Yeah. Rather than sort of a more general kind of pitch to everyone.
And you can get. Okay. I mean, certainly there are certain big hitters. You take a Hellboy. I mean, it's been around long enough. You know what it is on the tin, sort of thing. We don't need to know that. But a lot of like these indie creators that are passion projects of these, these are characters that are passion projects of these creators. We don't know them, even if they're something funny that they've done in it off sort of away from their main work and stuff. Like I don't know Fearless Dawn. I don't know her. I have no relationship with it.
Yeah,
I'm going to have one because I'm going to explore it. But would other readers have that? Do you know what I mean? Is that a stumbling block? What do you think?
I don't know.
Because in some ways it limits it. When a character gets a certain level of success, and then publishers are just essentially, here's more of that thing you like. Yeah. They don't seem to be capitalizing on.
Yeah, where'd you jump in? I mean, sometimes Fearless Dawn has kind of got that. Oh no, we mentioned earlier that Tank Girl thing where you can pretty much jump in.
Yeah, I mean, it was very much
it's not a complicated narrative
in a situation. Which I think that's why this one's easily accessible. But sometimes, like, these publishers usually, I assume Asylum Press just essentially got like the rights to or the publishing rights to these sort of books, so they're just doing reprints or something like that. But if they're just selling to the existing fans, where's the growth of some of these characters?
I think he's out there doing stuff. He was at Heroes, I think, and
I mean that always helps when the creator's out there.
Yeah, I think that's right. I know Cliff bought a page as a present for someone when we were at Heroes. I think it was Kirk. He's a solid good. Like you say, there's that rockabilly thing I kind of like.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of time. There's that TNA Asylum Press kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
I know that they have had quite a few free comic book day comics.
Yeah.
Featuring the characters, I think. Yeah.
But take for instance, Eric Powell's The Goon is another one.
Yes.
That I haven't read too much of The Goon. I've read a lot of Eric Powell's other stuff, but I'm not too, I know it.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? To see it, you know exactly what it is, but I couldn't necessarily tell you what it is. Do you think sometimes publishers should be like, okay, just one line of like, this is what this is, before you get into the new one? It's difficult. I don't think there's any right answer to it. I think, and I don't.
Yeah, because what will work on getting a reader in for one reader might not work on another. It's that there's always that thing of like the jumping on point, isn't there? Like this is a good jumping on point for a title. Well, essentially, Hellboy, you can fucking jump in anywhere. You Sagio Jimbo, you can jump in pretty much anywhere.
I think we don't give readers credit enough for jumping in on existing stories.
Yeah.
And certainly we used to. Like when I started reading Justice League of America or the Avengers or something, there'd already been quite a few issues.
Yeah.
I didn't care. Defenders, whatever it was, I think we don't give readers enough. I think hearing about Fearless Dawn and thinking that's quite cool, and it's always something I fancied reading and never got round to. I think I'd just pick something up. There's a beauty in trying to work it all out and discover it.
Yeah.
I think sometimes that people sort of, I think because we live in this box set world now, don't we? People need to just think, oh, I'll jump in and read this Strontium Dog story or this Dread story, whatever it is, and just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
I'm definitely caught up in that mentality of like, I want to be in on the ground floor and I want to fucking read it all. And...
Yeah.
But then again, nobody would watch Coronation Street if that was the case, would they? I always use the Coronation Street analogy, but nobody would then, would they?
Yeah.
Mate, it'd be a fucking utopia if no one watched the soaps.
Yeah. Yeah. But there is that sort of, it's a different sort of format, isn't it? Like the ongoing day-to-day drama.
Yeah, but a lot of comics are soaps. I mean, the X-Men soap.
I mean, they do come across like that. But then they have like, like if I had been doing the Red Mask for 20 years, would I put something in the first line saying your favorite alien smashing guy with a?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of comics now do have a summary on the intro, don't they?
Yeah.
The Avengers does and stuff like that. But no.
The back of the DVD box, kind of.
Yeah,
they're comics, man. They're not meant to be that complicated.
Yeah,
Yeah. Some can be if you want them to be, but this sort of comic not meant to be that complicated.
I think
just jump on and read it.
Sometimes, like if this looks fun, but then if you read a synopsis and just think, "Am I supposed to know what's going on?" That could potentially put people off. Do you know what I mean? Am I supposed to read this shorthand? I don't think that applies to this book because it's jump in and the water's lovely.
Yeah.
But I certainly see it sometimes when people are like, you know all this, don't you? No. Especially with characters.
I think now where back issues are so easily obtainable, you shouldn't be afraid of doing it. If you go in and you read issue 43 and you think, oh, it's kind of cool, you can go on an app somewhere and read 1 to 42.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
An interesting chain of thought, but I mean, the bottom line is Fearless Dawn Shorts is a great book that I think more people should check out, and I'm going to jump back in.
Is it cunningly about her shorts?
No.
They're fearless.
Oh.
They're just shorts.
Okay.
Short stories.
They're not like cut off denim shorts. So.
No.
Diminishes it a little bit for me.
I mean, she does have tiny hot pants.
Now.
She does have tiny hot
pants. There you go.
I'm back.
And there's lots of
back in.
Yeah, there's lots of emphasis.
We're back in again.
Yeah, and see the pages for yourself. Lovely. Anyway.
Lost us and won us back over.
Yeah. Okay. Back over to you, chaps.
Hey, do you want to start, Daniel?
Liquid Night by Zach Cahill. Got this through. If you're not a fucking on the Patreon, sort yourself out.
Yeah. You do need to.
Yeah, if you're on it, you get sent through stuff by Zach all the time when he finishes a new book.
Yeah. Do you know what happened with me? Is he sent me so much stuff recently. I thought, oh, this can't be part of the Patreon. So I went and bought it. And he rang me, he messaged me and said, what are you doing, you idiot? That's coming through the Patreon. I went, oh, you've only just sent me something. But he said, no, it's part of it. So, okay. There you go.
For me, it's a winner chicken dinner. It's like just absolutely like a selection of comics that Zach's made. and they're all great. I just was having a blast. Some of them I've seen on the Patreon already,
Yeah.
but when you get them as the print, I was loving it. Just and Keith pops up. He's
Yeah,
got
Cliff Inks. He sent me that in progress. He was showing me some of that, Cliff, and he sort of inks over. And it's again, I know this is a fucking no-brainer, but that page it's kind of an Elvis page.
yeah.
I can see both of them in it,
I can see
and that
both.
works.
Yeah,
And when that
really
works
works.
properly, we remember the beauty of the penciler and inker, don't we?
Yeah,
We don't see that enough anymore.
no,
But you know, when Pablos Marcos or someone would ink over John Buscema, and you think
yeah,
that's so the creation of those two people. It's so
yeah.
the
So
character
unique.
of that. Yeah, yeah. I
It's
know.
because you know the two creators involved, and seeing the two of them what they've done together, it makes it special. Like
Yeah,
there's an extra.
personality to it. Yeah,
Yeah, so this ranges from kind of like 4 or 5 page strips to one pages. There's some The Man in the Blue Mask, which is a text piece which goes over a couple of places, which is absolutely great. The I loved the first story in this book. It's a
yeah.
fucking
Me too, man. I think that might be my
absolute banger.
favorite of the book. It's
Yeah,
but
same.
that is an EC story.
Yes,
Very,
it's
very
absolute
EC
easy
influenced.
story.
I think. Yeah, about a man who sort of thinks his wife's having an affair and sort of follows her around, and it's got that
It's got a sting in the tail.
twist. Yeah, very,
Yeah,
very EC. But also that a little bit of noir. And do you know what? I don't get tired of saying it, but with Zach, there's a little bit of the J Bone Darwin Cook there as well.
yeah,
And he's a
yeah,
fast artist, isn't he? He works fast, I think.
yeah. It's really nice, and you can
Yeah,
see it,
yeah,
and he's in the artwork. It's very kind of fluid and kind of immediate, and there's a real energy to it.
yeah.
The last line in that, I can't spoil it because you got to read it for yourself.
Mm,
This absolutely fucking sent me. That was brilliant.
yeah.
It's really well done. The whole book, yeah, I can't speak highly enough
I
about
like
it. I really
what
enjoyed
if
it.
we knew the war began tomorrow? I like that,
Yes,
the last story. And it's Red's Under the Bed kind of
yeah,
theme to it, but not theme to it. And it took me back to those movies of the 40s and the 50s where everyone was paranoid about nuclear power and stuff, and Twilight Zone, Outer Limits kind of thing. Yeah,
yeah.
really, it really works like that. Yeah. Again, a lovely twist at the end of it.
You got a shout out to Chance Tempest on the last page, which
Oh yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
promises to take you down to Yakuza in the 1980s Los Angeles. Since that's going to be the story of Viper, I'm going to work it in, so there's going to be a nod to that.
Oh right, that's cool.
Yeah. Uh, Zach, you heard that there first, so I'll message you just to make sure that's okay. I better not promise. I better not start writing checks my ass can't cash. But I'm sure he'll be okay with it. I'm
Yeah.
sure he'll be okay with it. Yeah.
Nice.
So go check out Zach's Patreon. Go become a backer, and you can get lovely books like that sent to you.
Yeah, you can buy them normally as well. You can
Yes.
if you go to Instagram Zach W Cahill, or if you go to zachcahill.bigcartel.com, you can just buy them. So go and do that as well.
Go pick up a
Nice.
copy of Liquid Night and all the other stuff.
Nice. Nice. And pick up all the comics that we've talked about on this week's show because they're all awesome. And the pun is very much intended because, that's why we called the show, because we talk about nothing but awesome comics. I'm still not fed up with that word. Still one of my favourite
No, you like
words.
that one, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, well.
Caterpillar acid.
Huh?
Caterpillar acid.
Yeah.
I did do a quick search. I couldn't find it, so obviously I'm gonna
We'll have to get him
look
to
a
the
bit
sling,
harder.
won't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
And thanks to Hugh for joining us again, and thank you to you for listening, listeners. We hope you've enjoyed this delve into the world of sci-fi and beyond. And if there's anything you want us to talk about on upcoming shows, where we'll be talking about fresh new guests, voices, publishers, and more, get ready for it because it's going to be quite exciting. There's several different ways you can get in touch with us. You can email us, awesomecomicspod@gmail.com. Follow us on social media at awesomecomicspod on Insta, at the awesomepod on X. And where did you listen to us? Was it on the website awesomecomics.podbean.com? If so, thank you very much. But then again, thank you very much if you listened to us on Apple. And if you did and you liked it, maybe give us a nice review or give us some stars. Say something
We haven't
nice.
had one for a while, have we?
No, and we're needy because we make a podcast. So there you go.
It pushes out the algorithm as well if you do a review.
Yeah,
It gets more people's eyes on it. Yeah.
Exactly. And Spotify, and the more people that talk about it or know about it, the more people discover these comics that we talk about on a weekly basis. and we're all about paying it forward. Much like if you listen to us on other networks like Amazon, Stitcher, Podnose, Podknife. What other networks are we on, Tony?
We're on avoid the accidental slumpkin at all costs.
Avoid it. If it's got kin in it, and Tony Esmond said it, avoid it. Like the plague.
Don't avoid it.
Don't put it. Don't type it into your keyboard, Dan.
No, God no.
God no.
I would never do that.
Can't do it now. They'll fucking get banned in the UK. Can't look
Put the
it up.
VPN on, Dan.
Yeah, put the VPN.
Yeah.
That VPN's killing children.
It's the fucking.
Yeah.
It's the fucking.
Dialing in from Kursk, looking up some.
back in Ghana for the day.
Yeah.
Poor old, how did he get to Malaysia so quickly?
Yeah. I had my IT ring me up and said, Dan, you in the States? I was like, no. So we dialed in like on the States on Slack on your phone. Was a security breach? I was like, nah.
No, I was just looking at pornography.
Yeah. Just looking at prawn. That's it. Understandable.
Nice prawn.
Like Tron, but sexier.
Exactly. That's got to be the sexy one, hasn't it? It's called prawn.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's out there.
and of course the new one's called Aries, and just move the letters around on Aries, and what do you get?
Yeah, I don't know.
Saying it.
I'm not gonna say it.
Did you just get it done? You got it. Where can people find us online, etc.? Tony?
Neverhidanything.com or Tony Ez on Substack. You can also find the podcast on Substack.
Yes.
And there'll be links and images from today's episode.
Nice.
Yes, do that.
Yes. Dan, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Vanguard. You can be Vanguard at vanguardcomic.com. If you want to see how I'm getting on with making Viper 3, which I'm still working over a title, come check out my Patreon, where I'm posting stuff almost daily.
Nice.
Well worth the money.
And you can find me on social media at Jester Diablo. Thank you very much for listening, everyone. Join us next week for more comics chat and more great comics to look out for. From all of us here, ACP Towers, have a brilliant week, no matter where you are in the world or whatever VPN you're using. We hope you're happy, healthy, doing all right. In the UK, there's about to be a heat wave, so for God's sake...
That's fine, because I'm in Peru.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's hot there as well, Tony, so watch
I'm
yourself.
in Lima.
I dial in from Alaska.
Yeah. But stay hydrated.
This time of
stay
year,
hydrated and stay in the shade when you're reading your comics on Wednesday. And we love you very much. From everyone here, from Dan, Tony, and myself. Read loads of comics. Keep making loads of comics. And what else should they do, gentlemen?
Stay awesome.
Stay awesome.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And it spells arse, Dan.
Yeah. Arse.
Arse.